Have you gotten OneDrive in your computer and now the computer won't stop syncing everything to the cloud? Or the cloud constantly says that it's full? Or now some of your files from the computer have totally disappeared? I'll stick around, I'm gonna try to show you the solution. So I recently got OneDrive into my computer, and it's the first time that I've been using OneDrive, and I immediately had a huge problem because without asking me for any consent, OneDrive just started taking everything I had in the computer and straight away putting it to the cloud. And I didn't ask for that. I didn't tell the computer to do that. It just automatically does it. Doesn't even have an option to allow you to choose whether or not to have it. Now, I'm going to try to explain you why OneDrive does that and what exactly it's doing. When you first get OneDrive into your computer, you're going to get something like this. I apologize because my system is in Portuguese. But you're going to have the desktop, you're going to have images, you're going to have documents that will all appear into a folder on the left side that's called OneDrive over there. And what happens is everything that you used to have in your computer as your desktop, as your images, as your desktop, it's all going to show up in here. You're going to notice that you have a little bar here on the middle. In English, it's called either state or status, and it shows you whether the file has been uploaded to the cloud or it's still in your computer. You can differentiate that by looking at whether it has a little tick or if it has a cloud. You can even see some of the files have got a completely green tick. Which means that they are always available in the computer, even if the computer is offline. However, here's the problem. I didn't tell my computer to do this. I didn't want the cloud to get all my stuff from the computer. First off, because it takes a lot of space on the cloud and I don't have that space. And not only that, but of course there's files that's personal. I don't want it to have it. So I had a very hard time figuring out how to stop it because every time that I tried to stop it by the way that they told me I should do it, when I read the articles and everything, here's the way they told me I should do it. I should click on the cloud icon right here at the bottom. I click on this cog over here and I go to settings. In this computer it's Portuguese. In settings you have an option here to choose the folders. Now this is where you supposedly you're going to be able to tell the computer, hey, I don't want to sync these files to the cloud. I want to sync just those files. But here's the problem. I was unticking all of them because I said I don't want anything to go to the cloud. And then as soon as I pressed OK, it just deleted everything off my computer. I lost every single information I had. Of course, I had a moment of panic there, but luckily enough, when I went there back into settings and I ticked it again, it brought everything again to my computer. So I was having a really hard time understanding why that was. I tried to call Microsoft. Unfortunately, they don't have a telephone that you can call them and speak to someone. You always have to go through the internet channel. I tried chat online. I tried to talk with someone, explain my problem. They couldn't help me. They said that I should just post a question in the forums. I went and put a question in the forums. They couldn't really tackle my problem. They said it cannot be done. You cannot stop your computer from syncing everything. You always have to sync everything. That's what I've been told in the forum. It's a complete lie, by the way. So here's what I did, and here's how I got rid of it. I was searching into my computer, and what I did, I went into my C drive. I went into users. I went into my specific username, and I noticed something strange. And I'm going to show you here right now what I saw. I went to C drive. I went to users, and then this is my name here. I just clicked on it. And I noticed something funny here. I had a lot of stuff here that was not on the OneDrive, and I also had my desktop, my images, and I clicked on them. I'm not going to open it now because I've already changed it, but when I opened them, they were empty. There was nothing there. And I found it very strange because I had always been putting everything on my desktop, documents, images. I normally do the separation of my documents there. I did, however, have one extra folder now that's called OneDrive. And this extra folder, OneDrive, I opened it and it went to the one I have here on the left. The exact shortcut that I have here, it's not really the documents of my computer that I used to have, but now it's kind of created that specific folder OneDrive and it's putting everything inside it. So having that information was so important to me because I knew immediately what I had to do. I know that I still had my old desktop, I still had my old images, my old documents, and what I simply did is I opened up my desktop. Sorry, I don't have anything right now on the OneDrive, but I opened up my images, for example, and I had all these images there. I just placed them there as an example for you. And what I've done, I've just taken everything that I had here, I right-clicked and I said cut. So I completely took them out of the OneDrive folder, and I then, after I put cut, I went into my computer, again into my username. I went into users. I'm so sorry, this is all in Portuguese. I went into my specific username, and then I wanted those images to go into images, so I just did right click and I did paste. And that actually just did it. What it did is it removed everything from the OneDrive, it placed it back into my computer. It's a shame that it doesn't have an automatic way of doing that, like without going through all this trouble. But I was really happy that I was able to find a way to navigate through it, even though Microsoft couldn't help me do it. I was really happy I found a way to do it exactly the way I want. Now, the way I have it set up, I didn't want to completely cut OneDrive off my PC, and at that stage, even if I wanted to cut it off, there was the solution of getting rid of OneDrive, uninstalling the application, and of course I didn't want to do it because I needed to use OneDrive for other stuff, but I had that option to do it. But even if I wanted to do it, the moment that I stopped using OneDrive, it got rid of the documents out of my computer. So it put me back into a corner, so to speak. So what I did was just exactly that. I went to the OneDrive, I just copied everything I wanted. I created shortcuts. If you look at my PC here on the left, I created some shortcuts here for the downloads, desktop, documents, images. Those are the shortcuts to the stuff that is under my username in my computer. So you simply have to go into your own computer, you go into your C drive, you go into users, and then you go into your username. And instead of going to the OneDrive, that's a shortcut they tell you to do there on the left, you simply ignore that and you go straight to your desktop, or you go straight to your documents, and you put the stuff back into where it's supposed to be. And if you manage to do that, what's going to happen is OneDrive is going to be a lot more functional. It's going to have its own desktop. Of course, you can rename the desktop. I had already renamed it, but I just created for you guys. But I can go ahead and just delete it. I just press delete on my keyboard. And I got rid of the desktop. I don't even need it. I just need to have some images that I share from time to time if I need to. This way it allows me to control everything I want to put there, and everything I don't want to put there, I just put it on my computer. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, don't hesitate on asking me. I'm not a Microsoft expert, but of course I can always try to help. So thank you for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys around.